Good morning. Welcome to another Friday session. I hope you all must be healthy, happy, and safe. Well, today I'm going to tell you another of my unpublished story. And again, if you like the story, just suggest an appropriate title for it. Share it with your friends, family, subscribe to my channel, and be healthy and safe. I could smell something. It was obnoxious. It was strange, like a mixture of rotten eggs and metallic smell. My throat was parched. I was feeling very thirsty. I was feeling very exhausted and uneasy. I don't know why. I was sweating profusely. I woke up with a start. It was dark, very dark. I tried feeling the bed with my hands. It felt very hard, solid, almost concrete like, and very cold. It was not my bed. It was not my room. I couldn't see anything. I sat down, felt something liquidish on my soul. The detestable odor of rotten eggs and metal was very strong. The whole room was smelling of it, even me. Is this a dream? I pinched myself. No, it wasn't. This is not my room. Where am I? Hello, I shouted. Anyone here? No reply. I shouted again, little loudly this time. My voice just bounced back. I stood up and tried to feel my way around. The walls were very cold and damp. It was difficult to adjust to the darkness. Moreover, my whole body was aching. I shouted again. No reply. I was alone in this dark room, or wherever I was. I reached a corner. I again slid my hands across the wall. I reached a place where I could feel some difference. It was a sort of a door, a metal door. I banged on it many times, tried to find a latch or something. There was none. Again banged and shouted at the same time. No response from anywhere. I was alone. Where was I? I tried retracing my steps to the so called bed, again feeling my way around. Suddenly, my left pinky toe stubbed against something hard. The sharp and throbbing pain made me cry out loud. I fell on the concrete bed with a thud. My eyes were becoming moist while I was massaging it. Was it because of the pinky toe or the confusing situation I was in? I don't know. The tears were swelling up in my eyes. Suddenly, I heard a strange noise. It was not loud, it was a little faint. Someone, somewhere was typing on a typewriter. Yes, that was the sound of a typewriter. Hello, I shouted. Who is it? Someone was outside the door. I limped my way across. I put my ear on the door and tried to hear. Someone was actually outside this door, typing something. Hello, I banged on the door. Anyone here? Someone hit the door with a stick or something. Hello, please, hello. I started sobbing and fell on the floor. I must have dozed off right there on the doorstep. I don't know how much time had passed, but I woke up with the sound of someone opening the door. I backed off immediately. I was scared and excited at the same time. The anticipation of what lay ahead of me was killing me. The door creaked open. The light from the outside flooded the room and blinded me. Two shadows from outside entered and forcibly pulled me out. I was still feeling very difficult to adjust to the bright lights. They handcuffed my hands behind my back and gripped my shoulders and forced me down to my knees. In front of me, there was a table, and on it, a person in some sort of uniform was busy typing. Another person in similar uniform was standing next to him, reading from some file or something like that. I looked around. I was in a corridor of some sort, with several similar doors on either side. The walls were dirty green and off white, with paint chipping off in many places. This was a prison. I was shocked. Why was I in a prison? I couldn't remember anything. The more I tried to, but I couldn't understand. It was so confusing. I tried asking, but the guard standing next to me hit me hard on my head and asked me to shut up. The person standing in front of me turned towards me. He took out a paper from the file he was holding and started reading aloud. Mister, you are charged with possession of 28 kilograms of cocaine. And as per the Honorable Supreme People's Court of People's Republic of China, you have been hereby sentenced to death. You'll be shot tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. I was shocked beyond words. Drugs? Me? 28 kilograms? Death penalty? China? What the hell I am doing in China? And who's this Mr. Who the hell is Mr. This? Excuse me, what is all this? I yelled. I can't understand what is happening. You have the wrong person. And how come I am in China? And who's Mr. My name is. My name is. My name is. I didn't know my name. I couldn't remember anything. Again pleaded with them, but it fell on deaf ears. I just couldn't remember anything. My name, how I got here, who was Mr. My tears were not stopping. But it did not affect these people. I was still handcuffed, sitting down on my knees, looking at the horror unfold. The man who read out the sentence wasn't the one in charge. He was instructing something to the typist, who was furiously typing each word. I turned towards one of the guards and asked him how long I have been here. He said that I have been here for nearly a year. I inquired about my family, and he said that he doesn't know and added that now it is too late to even bother. I was speechless. The enormity of whatever was happening was slowly dawning upon me. Maybe I was just confused or suffering from some sort of memory loss. Whatever these people were saying must be true, or else why I would be here? I just bowed my head and started crying. Stop crying like a baby. People like you will burn in hell. You destroyed so many innocent lives of making them addicts. Being shot at is a very lenient sentence for people like you. The man in charge spoke in a stern voice. This made me more depressed than I already was. Take him to his cell, he instructed his guards. Please, please not there. It's dark, it's gloomy, it's smelling. Please, I beg of you. I pleaded with my hands pressed together. He started laughing and said that all the cells are same, and I shall have been used to it, as I have been living in that same cell for past 1 year. And don't worry, this is just for a few hours, that it will never trouble you. And after that, he started laughing. Seeing him laugh, others also joined him. Please, at least put on the lights, I pleaded. Okay, he answered in most discerning way and instructed the guards. Also, as this is your last night, you are allowed to eat whatever you wish for as your last meal. Also, you are allowed to meet your family. I'd asked them earlier, but they were not interested to meet you because of your heinous crime. They're still in the city as they will be collecting your body for the final rites. Also, tomorrow morning, a priest will come so that you can beg for penance for your crime. He said all this in one go, even without making any eye contact with me. My family is here? I was more shocked than surprised. Please, I want to meet them, please. I will not even ask you to switch on the light in the cell. Please, I begged with him. Look, as I've already said that they are not interested in meeting you. But as you insist, I will again speak to them and let you know. But I can't promise anything. And he left. Again started sobbing, and the guards picked me up and handcuffed me and took me to my cell. They closed the door. After a few seconds, the light was put on. The cell was around 10 feet by 10 feet. The odor inside was very suffocating, daunting and revolting. The floor was uneven, cold and uncomfortable. It was full of overflowing water and waste from the toilet bowl, just filled to the brim. There was no ventilation. There was a sink next to the toilet bowl, which somehow resembled it. There was a concrete slab on which a crumpled, dirty blanket was kept. I guess This was my bed. The wall next to the concrete bed had blood-stained scratches all over. I immediately looked at my fingers. They were swollen and bloodshot, and few of them were missing nails. There was pus oozing out, and they were full of maggots. The blanket was torn out from various places and was full of bed bugs. I tried wiping my fingers with dirty blanket, but it made the fingers more itchy and inflamed. I had no other choice but to sit on the bed. I kept on staring at the overflowing toilet bowl. The odor in the room was worse than the worst sewer ever. The sight and the smell created a retching effect on me, and I puked. I could still hear the typist outside. I got up and knocked on the door. The typing stopped. "Any news on my family?" I asked. "No," and he resumed typing. Expatriated, I sat down next to the door and put my head between my knees. I tried to think. I was very confused. I still had no answers. I tried to rack my brain, but it was of no use. I couldn't even remember my name, how I came here, how I was in this situation, and who was Mr. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. "Your wife has agreed to meet you. She was very reluctant, but the warden somehow convinced her. She'll be here in half an hour," the guard said. "Oh God, thank you, sir," I shouted with a glee. "Can you do another favor, please? I'm smelling like shit. Can I get cleaned up? I don't want to meet her like this. Please, I beg of you," I pleaded with him. He said that he will ask the warden and get back to me. After 15 minutes or so, he returned and opened the cell door. The same two guards were there. They again handcuffed me and escorted me to the washroom. The washroom had open stalls. There were 4 showers separated by waist-height high walls. They gave little privacy, but not a great deal. I stripped and entered the shower. The water was icy cold. I tried using the little pellet of soap kept on the wall of the stall, most probably left by some previous inmate, but it was not able to wash off the odor from my body. Maybe this odor was now part of my soul. After the shower, I was given fresh clothes to wear. After changing, I looked at myself in the broken mirror on the wall. I couldn't recognize myself. I had long hair and a beard. It seemed as if I was looking at a very different person altogether. Feeling a sort of refreshed and more depressed than before, I went to the guards and turned my back around. They handcuffed me. They walked me through a maze of corridors. It was a sunny day. Some birds were flying outside. I was jealous of these birds. They were free. They took me to a holding room and asked me to sit on one of the chairs opposite a steel mesh. They said my wife will be here shortly and I can speak to her for only 15 minutes. After a few seconds, a door opened and she walked in. She came directly and sat opposite me. "Tell me, why do you want to see me?" she said, devoid of any emotions. "Who are you?" I asked in a surprised tone. "What do you mean, who I am? Who am I? I'm your bloody wife." "Yes, I'm ashamed of it," she said. "No," I shouted. "You're not my wife. Who are you? Where's my wife?" I was getting angry by the moment. I'm your wife. You don't even recognize me." I shouted at the top of my lungs, stood up. "No, you're not my wife. What is going on here? Who are you?" Suddenly, someone hit me hard on my head. I was in my room, and my wife was staring at me angrily. "Even in sleep, you don't value me? Be quiet and go to sleep and let me also sleep peacefully." She turned her back angrily towards me, pulled the quilt up to her chin, and went off to sleep. I was perplexed for a few moments. The television was on. It was flickering its bright light and blurry images in the room. I rubbed my eyes for some time and then looked at it. I understood everything. I vowed to myself that I would never watch Jailed Abroad documentary series of National Geographic Channel before going to sleep. I had a sip from the water bottle next to my side of the bed, pulled the quilt over me and turned towards my wife and gave her a little peck on her forehead, turned back and closed my eyes. As soon as I closed my eyes, I heard a faint, familiar sound. I hope you liked my story. As I said before, suggest an appropriate title for the story. Share it with your friends and family. Put a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. See you next week. Till then, be healthy, happy, and safe. Jai Hind.